Everything happens for a reason. The truth about randomness and chance. Have you ever noticed how some things in life are simple, meaning you can easily understand how and why it happened, and aren't surprised by the outcome, while other things in life seem a little more complex, and appear to happen for no reason at all? It looks like these things randomly happen by chance. In this lesson, we'll explain that everything in life actually happens for a reason, and never by chance. We'll also go into how a person can know the reason it happens, and why at times it may look like it happens by randomness and chance. To understand this concept, let's begin by testing your ability to predict the future. This is Tom. If Tom were to step off this cliff, which way would Tom go? If you guessed down, you would be correct. Now ask yourself, how could you predict what would happen before it actually happened? Well, you probably knew Tom would fall because you understand the law of gravity. Now let's do a second test. Let's say we have a piece of paper. If we were to put this piece of paper over a fire, what would happen? Of course we know it would burn, because we know the basic laws of heat. There are things called natural laws. These natural laws determine how conditions change over time. Natural laws are constant and have always existed in the past, present, and future. Knowing natural laws is what allows us to predict the future. It's how you knew Tom would fall, and how you knew that paper would burn. Now, we don't create these natural laws. We discover natural laws. For instance, we didn't create gravity. Gravity always existed. We know this because even before we discovered gravity, objects would still fall. Along the same idea is that these natural laws will exist and work whether we know them or not. So if you put a piece of paper over a fire, it will burn. It doesn't matter if you know the laws of heat or not, it will still burn. Natural laws also apply to people. They determine how people learn, the change in emotions, and also a person's physical appearance. Because of this, natural laws can even make people predictable. Another way of seeing natural laws is through simple situations of cause and effect. For instance, if you don't brush your teeth, then your teeth will rot and decay. If you eat a lot of junk food, you'll gain weight. And if you're mean to everyone around you, then you will not have many friends. All of these situations make sense and are predictable because of natural laws. Now you may be asking yourself, why is it so important to know these natural laws? Well, let's take the example of brushing your teeth. There was a time when people didn't clean or take care of their teeth, and as an outcome they had terrible teeth. No one understood at the time why their teeth were hurting or decaying. They simply blamed it on bad luck, randomness, and chance. After all, it seemed to be happening for no reason at all. Now because they didn't know why it was happening, they kept on doing the same thing, and their teeth kept hurting and decaying. But sooner or later, people like dentists began to understand why teeth were hurting and decaying. They eventually discovered the natural laws of teeth or dentistry. They began to understand things like what caused your teeth to decay and the importance of cleaning your teeth. And because of this, people began to use things like mouthwash, floss, and toothbrushes. And eventually they found a way to stop their teeth from hurting and to become healthier. Now, there are a lot of things in life we don't understand that cause us pain and discomfort. If we continue to blame what we don't understand on luck and chance, we will never be able to change it or solve the problem. By knowing the natural laws, we can actually have the power to improve our lives and find solutions to our problems. Look at it this way. If we had a scale from 0 to 100 of all the information out there, and this is what we know, and this is what we don't know. When we know the information, we can believe that things happen for a reason. When we don't know the information, it seems to happen by chance or randomness. The more a person knows, the more they will believe that things happen for a reason, and the less they will believe in chance and randomness. You see, in reality, everything happens for a reason, whether you know the reason or not. Nothing happens by chance or randomness. Chance and randomness only exist in our minds. The only reason we believe in chance and randomness is because we lack information. And as you look at technology and advancements in society, you will see that the more we begin to learn, the more we begin to discover that everything happens for a reason. We have learned that things like the weather, health, and even gambling do not happen by chance or randomness. Now you may not believe me, but every game of gambling that you see has been beaten by a person that understood that it was not a game of chance and randomness. Let's take the slot machines as an example. Every slot machine that you see has a mathematical equation that determines how many times it will lose and how many times it will win. A person named Ronald Harris once stole the equation from one of these machines and gave it to his friend. The next day, his friend was able to go to that machine and win the jackpot. Now, unfortunately for them, they both eventually went to jail for it since stealing it was illegal. But they found out that it didn't happen by luck and chance. Now, what about rolling dice? Dominic Lorigio practiced rolling dice for months. He developed a way to control what numbers he will roll and what numbers he will avoid. In 1 hour, he was able to win $27,000 at a casino. Because of his ability, he and anyone like him are now banned from most casinos. Mohan is our last example. You may have seen the scratch and win games at gas stations or supermarkets. In this specific game, you would scratch off certain numbers to see if you had a match in a game of tic-tac-toe. Mohan found a way to predict a winning ticket before scratching off any of the numbers. He notified the owner of the game that his game was broken, but the owner didn't believe him. So Mohan picked 20 tickets that he predicted as winners and mailed them to the owner. The owner found that 19 of the 20 were winning tickets, and because of that, the next day the game was taken down. Now, just like everything we talk about, your life won't happen by chance and randomness. Let's take a look at 3 different people as examples of this. Now, each one of these people want a different thing. One person wants to improve their grades, another person wants to become better in sports, and another person wants to be happier. These things won't just happen. You won't magically wake up with better grades, luckily be the best at a sport, or all of a sudden become happier for no reason. The person actually has to do something to make it happen. As a mental exercise, identify things that each person can do in order to get what they want. Take a moment to pause the video to do this and continue when you're ready. Let's start with person 1. Person 1 might start paying attention in class, asking the teacher for help, or studying and doing his homework. Person 2 might start eating healthier, being more disciplined, or listening to his coach. Person 3 might ask for his parents' help, find people who are happy, or study what brings happiness. You see, there are many things these people could do. There really is no wrong solution, but the key is that they begin doing something, anything, instead of waiting for things to happen to them by chance and randomness. Now, as a personal activity, identify something that you want to get, something you'd like to do, or a characteristic you might like to have. After you have done this, identify what actions you have to start doing today to achieve it.